Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are taking a fascinating and honestly kind of unsettling look at the rapidly blurring line between reality and synthetic media. We are living in an era where seeing is absolutely no longer believing. Audio can be perfectly cloned from literally just a few seconds of tape. It's wild. We're looking at a technological revolution here, one that is actively rewriting the rules of evidence, of entertainment, and of trust itself.
So I want you to ask yourself, can you genuinely trust what you see on your screens anymore? Because we are rapidly approaching a point where advancing artificial intelligence is making it nearly impossible for the average person to distinguish between a documented fact and a total digital fiction. And the stakes here, they really couldn't be higher. This is affecting everything from personal reputations all the way up to global geopolitics.
To really grasp the impact of this, we've got to get our terminology straight. So, what is a deepfake? The word itself is actually a portmanteau, a combination of the words deep learning and fake. It refers to synthetic images, video, or audio that's been edited or entirely generating using artificial intelligence. Now, sure, humans have been doctoring photos for over a century, right? But deepfakes are a whole different ballgame. They uniquely leverage machine learning and artificial neural networks to create media that doesn't just look edited, it looks entirely, flawlessly authentic.
Here is our agenda for today. 1. Defining the deepfake. 2. Origins and underlying technology. 3. Entertainment and digital clones. 4. Disinformation, fraud, and blackmail. 5. The liar's dividend. And 6. Detection and defense.
Section 1. Defining the deepfake.
Section 2. Origins and underlying technology. What's truly remarkable about this tech is just how fast it escaped the highly funded academic labs and made its way right into the hands of everyday internet users. Let's look at the timeline. Back in 1997, researchers published something called the Video Rewrite Program. This was an early algorithm that used machine learning to modify an existing video of a person so their mouth moved to match a totally different audio track. Fast forward 20 years to 2017, and the actual term deepfake is born. It popped up in an online Reddit community literally called r/deepfakes, where amateurs were sharing these open-source face-swapping experiments. Then just a few months later, in January 2018, a desktop application called FakeApp launched, and that was the spark. It triggered this massive explosion of amateur commercial apps, making it so anyone with standard consumer hardware could create synthetic media.
Okay, let's dive into this. How does this actually work under the hood? Well, deepfakes rely heavily on a specific type of neural network called an autoencoder, and it basically operates in 3 steps. First, an encoder reduces an image of a person down into what's called a latent space. You can think of this as compressing a face down to its pure mathematical essence, just its key features and posture. Step 2, that latent representation stores those key features. Then, step 3, a decoder reconstructs the target image from that compressed data. So, by taking the latent data of person A and feeding it into a decoder that's been trained specifically on person B, you can seamlessly superimpose one identity right over another.
But the real magic here, the reason deepfakes look so incredibly realistic today, comes down to GANs, or Generative Adversarial Networks. This innovation dramatically improved visual fidelity by basically pitting 2 algorithms against each other in a zero-sum game. You have the first network, the generator, and its job is to fabricate images. Then you have the second network, the discriminator, which acts like a detective trying to catch the fakes. They constantly fight. Every single time the detective algorithm spots a visual defect, the fabricator algorithm learns from that mistake and corrects it. This endless cycle of constant evolution is exactly why deepfakes are so incredibly difficult to combat.
Section 3. Entertainment and digital clones. Now, it is important to remember that this technology isn't inherently malicious. There are actually some really fascinating, totally legitimate applications for synthetic media in the art and entertainment worlds. For instance, major studios like Disney are using progressive high-resolution deepfake models, we're talking 1024 by 1024 resolution, to de-age characters or even revive deceased actors. This saves them massive amounts of operational and production costs. Over in live entertainment, startups like Metaphysic AI have brought flawless synthetic versions of Simon Cowell and Elvis Presley right to the stage on America's Got Talent. Iconic bands like ABBA and Kiss, they're using digital clones to put on massive virtual concerts. Even the art world is playing around with this. Back in 2018, a museum exhibit used deepfake tech to create an AI actor, basically letting an Italian movie star time travel by swapping faces with Kendall Jenner to explore these really cool generational reflections.
Section 4. Disinformation, fraud, and blackmail. So the crucial point is this staggering number, $12 billion. Because this underlying AI has become so widely accessible, it has catalyzed completely new and frankly devastating forms of malicious exploitation around the globe. That $12 billion is the estimated amount of global fraud losses directly attributed to deepfake scams. And honestly, it gets worse. According to recent reports, these numbers are expected to reach a breathtaking $40 billion over the next 3 years. We are seeing these widespread impacts happening right now, today. Scammers are creating fake celebrity and executive endorsements all over social media. They're cloning the likenesses of people like Taylor Swift, Tom Hanks, and Elon Musk to peddle Medicare fraud and shady crypto schemes. We're also seeing audio deepfakes used for social engineering. In one really alarming case, the CEO of a UK energy firm was tricked into transferring €220,000 to a scammer because they used a perfect audio clone of his boss's voice. And we absolutely have to mention the massive epidemic of non-consensual deepfake pornography. Studies and reports show that this technology has weaponized gender-based harassment, disproportionately targeting women. And of course, there's the political realm. Synthetic media has targeted public figures straight across the entire political spectrum. No one is immune. Back in 2018, filmmaker Jordan Peele actually created a deepfake warning PSA of Barack Obama just to show the public what the tech could do. In 2022, a completely fake broadcast of Volodymyr Zelensky urging his military to surrender circulated online. In 2023, AI-generated images of Donald Trump being arrested went viral via Midjourney, and it fooled a lot of people. Then in 2024, an imitated voice of Joe Biden was used in robocalls specifically aimed at voter suppression. The threat of political disinformation here is truly nonpartisan. Section 5, the liar's dividend. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that the danger isn't just about the creation of fake media anymore. It's about the erosion of trust itself. We are now facing a fascinating and really dangerous sociological shift known as the liar's dividend. This is a phenomenon where individuals who are faced with genuinely incriminating or embarrassing video or audio can simply throw their hands up and claim that the real evidence is just an AI deepfake. By doing so, they dismiss the claims and try to gain sympathy. The mere existence of deepfake technology gives guilty parties plausible deniability. Because, think about it, if the public believes that absolutely anything can be faked, then authentic evidence suddenly loses all its power.
Section 6, detection and defense. And this brilliantly illustrates the exact struggle we're facing when it comes to fighting back. A massive deepfake detection challenge found that the winning algorithmic detection model was only 65% accurate at spotting fakes on a holdout set of videos. But by contrast, an MIT study showed that ordinary humans looking at those exact same videos were actually 69 to 72% accurate. Basically, our software is struggling to keep up because the generation algorithms improve the very moment the detection algorithms figure them out. It is a constantly moving goalpost. Because of this, experts are actively developing a multi-pronged approach for countermeasures. On the government side, DARPA has launched military-grade forensic programs, like Medi4 and Semaphore, designed to spot digital manipulation and semantic inconsistencies. Technologists are also exploring using blockchain ledgers to mathematically verify the trusted source of a piece of media before it ever hits your social feed. In the corporate world, security experts are suggesting the use of semantic passwords, essentially just secret questions you agree on beforehand, during important phone calls to bypass those audio clones. And finally, governments are stepping in. We're seeing emerging legislation like California's laws protecting against non-consensual deepfakes and election manipulation, aiming to establish real legal defenses and property rights. But perhaps the absolute most vital defense mechanism we have isn't digital at all, it's human. Because deepfake technology is going to keep improving, a skeptical public primed with strong media literacy is the ultimate defense. Research indicates that critical thinking, a basic understanding of how this tech works, and just a generally skeptical outlook toward the media we consume are highly effective cognitive countermeasures. Ultimately, we have to train our minds, not just our software. Which leaves us with this final thought. As the resolution climbs higher, as the algorithms perfect their zero-sum games, and as the barriers to entry drop to literally zero, when reality and synthetic media become entirely indistinguishable to the human eye and ear, how will our society define the truth? It's a massive question, and it's one we all need to start answering right now. Thank you for joining me for this explainer. And remember to keep your eyes open out there,